This is one of those situations that kind of just happened. A couple of nights ago, a couple of guys who go by the name of FTFE or Fight the Flat Earth and MC2 posted a interview they had on a podcast. Well, it was a joke podcast. The person who set it up called it's a Rubik's set it up so they can get a guy named David Weiss who's a flat earther but won't go on any of their channels because he knows nobody will put up with his BS. Went on this fake podcast and let him go on. Fight the Flat Earth goes by the name D. Rimmer. Rimmer is a character from a comedy called Red Dwarf. I wonder if this Rimmer actually knows gazpacho soup should be served cold. Well, I think he should have gone by the name of Lister, but that's probably been too on the nose. And MC Toon goes by the name of Mark. And they let David Weiss, the flat earther, go on, and David Weiss brings up the spacesuits in the International Space Station. Yesterday morning, about 7:15, I decided to go, I'll record this spacewalk NASA's doing. At least they'll give some footage. And I was just, okay. This is kind of one of the reasons why I recorded it. But it actually shows them going out and attaching the bolts onto the space station. So I'm going to let Dave Weiss here speak for a few minutes, and then I let them go for a few minutes, and then I'm going to show the footage, and we'll talk about what's going on, because the footage he shows is fake, or at least looks fake. Okay, just a few minutes.
Well, yes, I have friends that are involved in certain things. Of that.
Nobody went to the moon.
Okay,
that's obviously fake.
So, do you think that we have an International Space Station where men do spacewalks on the outside of the space station?
Yes, I do think we do. Yes.
All right, and
what's wrong with that, David? We didn't go to the moon. That's obviously fake. But Dave, what's wrong with the ISS?
Well, there's a lot of things wrong with it. We can go into it, but why and how low pressure is space? Torr 17 vacuum, right? That's what it is. That's going to be your answer. So if you put let me just turn on my camera again. So I put a football, which has a very thick skin, in a vacuum chamber, and I lower the pressure, and it explodes. Right? How does an astronaut in their little thin snowboarding suit go out with a pressurized suit into the Torr 17 vacuum? This didn't even get down to a Torr 1 vacuum, right? And it exploded.
Do you know what pressure do you know what pressure the atmosphere, the astronaut suits contain?
Yeah, the 14 pounds per square inch, whatever it is.
No, that's not true. The astronaut suits are only about 4 psi.
Okay, 4, it doesn't matter. But if they're 1 psi, they're going to explode. You put a balloon that just has a tiny bit of air in it, the rubber's not even stretched at all, tied in a knot, put it in a vacuum chamber, it's going to explode.
Well, when there's only a 4 psi difference, there's no reason it would explode.
That's what you're saying, but there's no proof of that. Try it. Get a 4 psi container of air, put it in a vacuum chamber, and watch it explode.
Well, of course, if there was a material designed to contain the pressure at 4 psi, then there's no reason it would explode. So it didn't reach the material expansion properties.
So would metal be stronger than the snowboarding suits that the astronauts wear?
Yes. All
right, and we've seen things explode with very, very little difference air pressure.
Explode? Could you please expand on that?
Well, you lower the pressure and they explode, just like that football exploded.
Well, football is much higher than 4 psi, of course.
So NASA has only once put an astronaut in a spacesuit in a vacuum chamber in the 1960s. And before they got half of the air out of there, he passed out and almost died because the liquid on his tongue started boiling, right? So, and they've never done it again. But we send people into space. They're doing spacewalks on the outside the space station, and they're doing nothing. Have you ever seen them do anything on the outside of a space station?
Well, they're usually attaching things and
Yeah, they're
installing
attaching.
equipment.
I'm
Yes.
glad you said that. So here is let me just show you. So here is, let me turn on my camera. Here's an astronaut, and he's got a wrench, and they're always just attaching a nut. They're never doing anything. They're just tightening a nut or loosening a nut. Watch. He's not even attaching. Look at this thing. It's not even angled correctly. I'll show you a close up. Let's take a closer look. Is he doing anything? Is he doing anything? Is that even connected to the bolt?
I imagine it's a very specific tool.
You're just making excuses. This is just AI. This is nonsense, right? This is from NASA, but it's either AI or just a completely incompetent astronaut. That is a wrench. That is a socket wrench, and those are regular quarter-inch nuts. Why is everything?
Say, David, yes, I will say that does look AI. I don't know if that is
but
necessarily
this is from NASA. This is from NASA.
I would love to see your sources to see
It's from NASA's website. Here, let's look at a couple other things.
Are you able to provide me with the link for this video so that I could check the source myself?
You can just go to NASA's channels and watch their stuff because it happens all the time.
Dave, this is perfect.
Well, I don't have.
This is perfect, Dave.
Okay. Well, they were talking there. I put up a clip of a video that I recorded last Wednesday, the 18th of March of 2026, of Jessica Meir and Chris Williams doing a spacewalk to install the struts to put up new solar panels in the future. Yes, they're walking around. They're going out to the spot and they're doing work. They're attaching stuff. That's how things are built and attached to things. The astronaut that he's talking about that got exposed to a vacuum in a spacesuit in the 60s was in 1966. A guy named Jim LeBlanc, who was a technician, went into the vacuum chamber in the spacesuit, and the hose got detached. That exposed him to 0.1 pounds per square inch, which caused him to pass out and caused the liquid to boil on his tongue. Because when you have lower air pressure, things boil faster. If you live in Denver, your tea kettle would boil a little faster than it would down on sea level, a little bit faster. So that is what happened. And you can see that they're not actually using a little socket wrench. They're actually using what they call a trigger grip tool, which is a special electric wrench made for space. And to test if the bolt's going to stay on there to have enough torque, they use a torque wrench. And mechanics use torque wrenches on Earth all the time. It's probably specially built for the space, but it's just they use a torque wrench. Okay, I think that covers the main point. Oh yes, I wish Earth would change his first name, but that's just a personal thing. Okay, everybody have a good day and goodbye, and see you next time. And there'll probably be a next time with Earth.